All right, guys. Just finished a live stream here on TikTok, but wanted to we were so close to um this ES signal here. Just wanted to record it because I am still interested in this ES signal, which is currently flashing right now on my trading view screen here. So I'm gonna try to record this trade. It's flashing right now, still got 3.5 minutes to go before it actually confirms that it is a signal. And so we'll watch it here. Was also watching Russell as well. Russell has made all-time highs. And so we're looking for a reversal on Russell, ES, as well as Dow. I was monitoring, but not too interested in Dow unless it gets to R5. So what I will do is I'm gonna sit here and just monitor Russell and ES, and I do like I like both setups. Russell all time high is one of my favorite setups to look for reversals after making all time high and crossing over one of our key levels, which is R4, which is a resistance level. So cross through R4, made all time high, and now I just want to see bearish price action to give me the go ahead to reverse, look for a short here on this trade. We'll see if either Russell or ES will give us that trade set up here, hopefully in the next 10-15 minutes. Kind of just chopping around here at this level. And since I plan to upload this video later, once if I can capture this trade, I guess I should explain our strategy here. What you see on here on the chart is our indicator first. Our indicators, key levels pro AI. What it does is it maps out key levels that we look for, me and my partner Tim, and our members that subscribe to this indicator. These are key levels that we use on a daily basis in our day trading journey. So these levels that you see here, R4, R3, R5, these are resistance levels, also known as Camarilla pivots. Camarilla is the formula we use to identify these levels daily. These are intraday levels. So R3s, your R levels are your resistance levels. Your S levels are your support levels. And that is the main strategy that we use on a day-to-day basis. We wait for price to get to these levels, R3s or R4s, and we just monitor the reaction at these levels. Preferably, we're looking for reversals at our resistance levels. We're looking at reversals to the downside. At support levels, we're looking at reversals back to the upside. So we're going to monitor price action here since we're at an R level, and we are going to look for a reversal now. All right, ES has not signaled us in just yet. It is at its R3 level, and it is at prior day's high. That is another key level that we map out here for you with our indicator. You got prior day's high there. You have Asia high. You have Asia low. You have London low, you have London high. These are all key levels that we look for daily. Pre-market highs, pre-market lows. And I think, yeah, I mentioned prior day, also prior week and prior month's high, all-time highs. Russell is at all-time high. There is your all-time high label there. So Russell just made an all-time high, and I am gonna look to catch that reversal off of all-time highs. All-time highs, you normally will get people, once price gets to an all-time high, you got your profit takers that like to cash out and send the price back to the downside, and that's the move I'm looking to catch back to the downside. So paying attention to Russell and paying attention to ES here. Aside from the key levels that we see marked out on the chart, you also get a volume profile. I use volume profile as well to identify um, my high volume nodes, my point of control, where buyers and sellers agree the most, which is all the way down here. This yellow dashed line is your point of control line. This light blue shaded area is your high volume node highlighted for you. The pink shaded areas are your low volume nodes. So if for any of you that knows volume profiles, you'll know these volume profiles have peaks and valleys. These peaks are your high volume areas where price transact a lot of high volume transactions at these peaks. And then these valleys are your low volume areas where price tends to move through very quickly with little volume transacted in these areas. So our program will highlight your low volume areas as well as highlight the high volume areas. And the area with the highest amount of volume is known as point of control, which is signaled by this yellow dashed line here. So this is your point of control area. And so if I was to get in this trade here, maybe let's say if ES signaled me in here, I would be looking to get out of the trade, or at least if not take partials, then be completely out of the trade at our point of control. All right, so we're still watching here. Let's get back on Russell. Now, Russell is flashing us a good signal with 1 minute left on this candle. So if this holds up, um, I will take Russell. And this would be my second trade on Russell for the morning. My first trade did not work out. And this would be my second and final trade of the morning. Let me get my chart set up here for Russell. All right, so just because we see a signal here does not mean it's a confirmed signal. Yellow means it's pending. So we need to wait for this bar to close. I do all my trades. I do all my executions on the 5-minute time frame, and this strategy, it does work on multiple time frames. It works on the lower 1 minute, 2 minute time frames, works on the higher time frame. Me in particular, I do all my trading on the 5-minute time frame. So this signal did go away. We got 3 seconds left to see if it'll come back, and it won't. So now we got to wait on the next candle, which is fine because right where this is situated in this high volume area, as well as point of control, generally don't like to take signals that are that close inside a high volume area. I prefer to break out of this high volume node and continue its way to the downside. So Let's see if we can get more of a bearish candle that'll break out of this high volume node, and we can write it down to probably my first target would be this prior day's prior day's high there. And if I had to choose a second target, it would probably be down to the next high volume node, or actually we have London high and pre-market high stacked up here as well. So it can be, my second target can be right here. And that should definitely give us a decent risk to reward depending on where that candle closes. So let's see, we'll watch and monitor. Let's take a look at ES, see what it's doing. ES still has not signaled us in, so we're going to watch that. Dow was another possibility. It is up here at R5, so yeah, I definitely would be interested in Dow at R5 for a reversal. We are in a supply zone here. That is another thing that our indicator maps out, our supply zones. So these are your resistance zones. R5 is a single price point resistance level. Supply zone is a range from 52,733 down to 52,640. So this whole area is just a supply zone to look for shorts. Now with this trade, as you can see, here goes a high volume node here. And where's our point of control? Let's condense this chart down for you guys. So point of control is all the way down here. So we got some room to the downside after this extended move. So it would be interesting to see where I place my profit targets here. I'm not going to take all three of these trades. I just want to see which one presents itself first. And I do like all three situations. So it's just a matter of whoever presents itself first. I do like the idea of taking this trade off of all-time highs on Russell. And then Dow, of course, looks really good up here as well after this extended move. I am a counter trend trader. Yes, it is one of the hardest trades in the book, but I've been pretty successful with it and pretty consistent with it. So that's just my style of trading. All right, let's take a look at Russell here. Russell, once again, is flashing a weak signal here. Let's see what of our confluences. So that's another thing about our indicator. We got 28 seconds on this one. Let me get set up here on Quant Tower. Another neat feature with our indicator is if you hover over the label, it'll tell you all the confluences of why it's labeled weak or poor or good or strong. This particular signal is a weak signal with some of the negative aspects, it being on the wrong side of VWAP. All right, this is a confirmed signal. All right, and I'm gonna hop in here. Let me flip my screen over because I do all my trading, all my executions on quant hour. That's right. So we're in this trade. Let me get my stuff situated. So what do we have? As far as TP1 goes, 3029 is our first TP, and my second TP is actually going to be prior days high. Here was at 320. Let's put it just above prior days. Let's see what ES is doing. ES still has not signaled us in, and Dow has not gotten to its R5 just yet. So now the way I use this indicator, yes, it's a weak signal, and I wouldn't advise people. Hold on a second, let me turn this off. Just because it's a weak signal doesn't mean we don't need to take the signal. Or we don't take the signal. I liked the setup because it did exactly what I was looking for it to do. It crossed R4. It crossed prior week's high. I was looking. That's why I circled this area, because if it crossed the levels that I needed it to cross before showing me a reversal, then that was my ideal setup, and it did. It crossed here. It crossed prior week's high. These prior week's high label right there, and it also made all-time high while doing it. So that was the setup I was looking for. It did what I needed it to do. I'm sorry, I'm showing you guys here on the wrong chart. Let me show it here on this chart. So on I'll just flip over to my trading view screen real quick to show you what I was talking about. So yeah, I had this area circled out already on from my live TikTok session, and that's what I was telling folks I was looking for. I was looking for price to cross R4. I was looking for price to as well cross prior week's high. That's this blue line right here that our indicator maps out, prior week's high. And it did just that. Yes, it gave me a weak signal, but it gave me the setup that I was looking for. And so I am going to run with it. So not only did it cross R4 prior week's high, made all-time high, now it's giving us a reversal off of all-time high. And I went with it. Yes, it's a weak signal, and it was labeled weak because it's on the wrong side of VWAP, so it took off points for that. It is currently in a high volume node, which is a trap. It's a trap area because it's a high volume choppy area. So it did signal us inside of this area right here. But I feel if we can break outside of this high volume node to the downside, then we've got plenty of running room to make this a worthy risk reward trade. Our stop is up here at 30.41.4. And we've got TP1 here. I am not taking this TP2. I am actually going to aim for prior days high here, which is this orange line. All right, so let me switch back to my quant tower screen. And I do this indicator. We do have a version for TradingView, and we have a version for Quant Tower. The difference with Quant Tower is you don't get the market shift candle colors as you do on TradingView. On TradingView, if you notice, when we're in an uptrend, the candles are all one color. It would be all teal to the upside. And when we're in a downtrend, the candles are all one color to the downside, which is gold. Let me Show you back on trading view again. That is the main difference between the indicator on trading view and quant tower. So quant tower, as you can see, we were in an uptrend here, all teal colored candles, and now to the downside. When we're in a downtrend, for instance, this little trend right here, all gold or orange colors to the downside. So we coded this on TradingView just so it'll make it easier to for our customers and ourselves to identify trends to the upside or trends to the downside. So this was a clear, clean trend to the upside, and now that trend has turned to orange, signifying a bearish trend to the downside. And that is another way to manage your trade as well. I could easily have just gotten in this trade, and I can set my I can set my TPs to be out of this trade when our candle color shifts back to a bullish trend. That's another way to exit the trade. Me, I prefer to just set my TP targets, whether we ride out pullback. So yeah, we could pull back and form a bullish market shift, but I prefer to just set my TP targets and let these plays play out. So we're close here to breaking out of this high volume node. That's what I'm hoping that we do here, is break out of this high volume node and get to TP1. Once we get to TP1, I will move my stop to break even. So I will take partial profits and I'll take partial profits and make this a risk-free trade. So I'm not at risk of losing anything anymore once we cross over TP1. All right, still fighting here around this high volume node, and what we need is for price to push past this node to the downside. Do like our chances. See what our rest of our markets look like. We've got Dow almost close to all-time high as well. Now Dow is another one that I said I'm waiting on R5 and all-time highs. So all-time highs is just above R5. So that'd be a strong level to look at. Dow is very close to it, so it certainly can rotate, make another leg up to capture all-time highs before looking for a reversal. But that is where I would look for my reversal at all-time high. ES still in this weak trade. This was a valid. Now, had I not entered the Russell trade first, I probably would be in this ES trade, because this is another one I was looking forward to as it crossed R4 as well as prior day's high before giving us a reversal. But I am in on this Russell trade. which didn't get a very high grade, but I liked it. I liked it regardless. Um, Negative factors mainly was it's inside a high volume node, so you got the high volume node trap. RSI didn't quite get to overbought levels before reversing, and we are on the wrong side of VWAP as well, was another negative confluence where VWAP's all the way down here. And of course, normally for trading towards all-time highs, being a reversal counter trend trader, there's a good amount of times that I will be on the wrong side of VWAP. VWAP here lines up nicely with my last target of prior days high is my last target to the downside. So I would you could essentially say I'm using VWAP and TP VWAP as my TP2. All right, guys. Well, we're just gonna sit and wait here. We'll step away from my screen for just a second and let this play out. I mean, I'm in this trade, so my next move would be once we cross over TP1 is just to slide my stop to break even. And so hopefully we get to that opportunity here to slide it to break even here shortly. I'll be right back, guys. Looks like we're finally breaking out of that high volume node. Hopefully we can get a further push down to the downside. All right. Now we're at where normal TP1 would be. I actually moved mine down a little bit more, But let's see, pulling back a little bit, but I'm gonna hold it here. Probably should after waiting all that long. I should probably just move it to the regular TP1, but I'll uh I'll keep it where we're at. We're still looking good. Momentum to the downside, still looking good. If you guys follow the TP1, the apps TP1, then we've gotten there already. Let's check ES. I think ES, yep, ES is on its way to TP2 now, guys. TP2. So these were call outs that I've made prior to logging off of TikTok. We were right there already. And I just didn't have enough time with the stream. So I figured let me record for you guys. But yep, TP1 on ES and I'm TP1 just hit for me. So now I can officially make this a risk-free trade, which I will. I'll put it right at the top of this candle that we're at now. I am risk-free on this trade, guys. So I'm gonna ride the rest of it down. We'll see. Let's see how it goes. I have another high volume node right here where I may move my stop. Let's see if I want to move it up to this high volume node here, which is just above TP2 as VWAP moves up as well. So as VWAP moves up, I want to stay above VWAP as VWAP likes to be a target. So I want to move it for sure above VWAP. And I might move it to the original TP2 now. So that's what I'll do. It's above VWAP. It's above the low volume node, heading in the right direction. But this is a risk-free trade for me now, guys. If you guys are wondering, I am copy trading across two accounts, so that's how you see two P&Ls there. Just rejected off this low volume node. Don't like to see that. But my break-even point is above this point of control. It is back in the chop zone, above this point of control, and I'll hold it there for now and I'll monitor it. And if it looks like we are getting ready to reverse back up, I may even just flatten it out early. But for now, not going to panic. I'm going to let this trade breathe a little bit. My break even is just fine. I've locked in probably about 400 or 500 so far in this trade. Let's go back to the chart to make sure. Let me just go back to my trading view chart just so I could show you guys what I was looking for right before TikTok, right before our stream ended. I had circled out ES as I wanted ES to cross S or cross R3 as well as cross prior days high before giving us a signal, which it did. It crossed, chopped a little bit, finally signaled us in right here. It was a good signal, and it hit TP2. And it was ES, Russell, and Dow were the three that I said I was looking forward to this evening, or this for the rest of the New York session. Russell, I circled this area out as I wanted price to cross through these areas. and before signaling us in, which it did, gave us a signal here, and I've been in this trade ever since. We've hit TP1, and hoping I can get to TP2 before it stops me out at break even. And then for Dow, I said I wanted R5. It needed to get to R5, and as well as I think R5, there is also another key level here at R5. Let's scroll to the left here. Yeah, prior week's high. So I needed it to cross R5 as well as prior week's high before signaling us in. Got a little tongue twisted there, and which it didn't. This one is the only one that didn't get to give me the setup that I was anticipating it doing. So, but yes, and Russell has, and just need Russell to cooperate with us here and give us a TP2 as ES has already done. Flip back to this Russell chart, or I'll flip back to a Quantire here. All right. Got 38 seconds on this candle, so I'm going to monitor this candle now. Monitor the price action now and see if this is a neutral candle, but hopefully we get some more continuation to the downside. We do have reason. We do have some magnets. I mean, VWAP's a good magnet to revert back to prior days high over here. This yellow line is another good magnet to revert back to. Have this low volume node to aim for as well. We'll see. All right, we're almost there, guys. We're very, very close, and I will probably not even be a dick for a tick and flatten out right there. So I got out of this trade. Look like that was 582. Yeah, guys. So during the stream, and let me flip back to trading view here. All right, so during the stream, during our TikTok stream today on Russell, we did take this trade right here, which got stopped out in one candle. On the very next candle, it did stop us out. I did lose 1 hour there. And what I was looking for with this trade, this was a R3 trade, and what I was looking for, and let me see, what was that? I think that was rated a. I was originally looking for price to come through R3, take out prior day's high, and then signal us in. And I don't believe that happened. I thought it did. I thought this wick right here. I thought this candle right here. Let me zoom in for you guys. I thought this candle here did take out our prior day's high, but I was mistaken and it did not. And so that left prior day's high untouched, but it did touch our R3 level. It did signal us in. I did take the signal and proceeded to get stopped out. Um, yeah, even our confluence does not show prior day's high being taken out. So yeah, it stopped me out and it proceeded to go and trade above prior day's high. So it did that move. However, it never came to give us a signal again at R3 as the momentum kept going towards R4, where at R4, I wanted it to not only take out R4, but take out prior week's high. And it did that at R4, gave us a reversal signal and proceeded to take out proceeded to TP1, and I got out just a little bit above TP2 here as our VWAP line continues to climb. So my original TP2 target was prior day's high, but as the trade went on, I moved my second target to the app's TP2. And then when we got just here on this same candle right here, when we got within ticks of TP2, I decided to flatten out of that trade so I could get on with the rest of my day. And yeah, so it turned out to be a profitable day after all. And so far, up on the week, profitable couple of days, did profit today. And actually, yesterday was actually a break even day. I was in a same situation to where the stream was ended, and I just got into a trade on Euro and spent about 4 hours in that Euro trade before finally, probably about an hour before market close, just decided to close it out as it's just was chopping sideways for the next 4 hours after that trade, and made some big money, $10 on that Euro trade. So yesterday was a break even day. Today was a decent win. Monday was a win. Up on the week, and we have 2 more days to go, and hopefully I close out this week strong, guys. But yeah, just wanted to monitor those call outs that I made at the end of our TikTok session, and I will post this on YouTube. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. For more trade recaps and for more just showcasing what signals our indicator um tends to produce, just follow our channel at Alpha Flow Trader. The name of this app is Key Levels Pro AI. And yeah, just look forward to more live trade recaps as well as more strategy content on the strategy we use inside of our indicator, Key Levels Pro AI. You can also get more information on our website, www.alphaflowtrader.com. Thank you.